Welcome back to the Glory Hunter. We unfortunately didn't win a trophy in yesterday's episode, but thankfully it wasn't a trophy that was absolutely certain that we needed to win. It's not on the list for the Glory Hunter, all told. The Carabao Cup final was lost, of course, by 4-1 to Chelsea yesterday. Today we start with the FA Cup against Cheltenham, which we're going to win, aren't we? And thanks to our ridiculous performance against Paris Saint-Germain in yesterday's episode as well, in stark contrast to the Carabao Cup final, we're going to sim that second leg at home against PSG because, of course, we ran out 5-0 winners in Paris. Now, they are ripe for a rebuild, PSG. They are obviously a massive club, and at the beginning of a save, you'd say it's pointless going to Paris Saint-Germain because they're just so good they'll win everything. In Ligue 1 this season, they are 4th. They are not having a great year. They're a full 8 points off top. Stade Rennais lead the way. Lyon second. Lens in third. Monaco only fifth. And Marseille only sixth. And that's as I've reloaded the save. You know how the other leagues aren't tracked properly in FIFA, unfortunately. When I previously had the save open, PSG were actually 6th. So PSG might be someone you might consider sending me to in a latter season. We'll wait and see. Certainly not as strong a proposition and more of a rebuild than initially we would think it would be. So we'll be simming Cheltenham, we'll be simming PSG, and we'll do the same for Brighton as well. We'll play Man United, we'll play West Ham, and we'll play Arsenal, and we'll work our way through the England games as well. I may find myself having to play that final England game. If I do, then that might change things, but we'll wait and see how things go. Starting though with the game against Cheltenham. What is the gap between Cheltenham and the next fixture? It's only a few days, so we might have to rotate a little bit for this one, but it's still a game that we certainly should be progressing in the FA Cup. Cheltenham in the FA Cup. Rather obviously, we need to win the FA Cup for the Glory Hunter purposes. We failed to win the Coppa Italia over the course of 2 seasons in Italy. It took us into the 2nd season to win the DFB Pokal in Germany. However, we hope to win the FA Cup at the first attempt this season with Manchester City and the Premier League to allow us 9 seasons. Now what's this? Season 5? 10 seasons. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 would allow us 10 seasons to win everything in Spain and France. 9 seasons, could we need to go back to Italy to win the Coppa Italia. So we could do a really good long-term or longer-term rebuild at our next club if we're able to win the FA Cup and the Premier League this season with Manchester City. We look great in the Premier League and the FA Cup is ticking along nicely too. 2-0 now, Cole Palmer. 3-0 through Zaniolo. This is pretty straightforward now. Fatawu. Nice. Oh! That was a little bit fancy, that. A little bit unnecessary with the extra 1-2 in there. But all 4 of our front-line players have now scored in this first half against Cheltenham. I think we're going through in the FA Cup, don't you? Cambridge lost 5-1 yesterday, Stan. As we go 5-0 up here through Calderon. That's just a bit harsh on Cheltenham now, to be fair, but unfortunately for them, if they keep conceding, we're not going to purposefully not score, are we? We don't take the foot off the gas. I seem to recall Cheltenham playing Chelsea in the FA Cup. Might have been last year or the year before. I think it might have been last year. And they lost by 5-1. So this is pretty spot on with regards a realistic result, isn't it? Cheltenham, I remember, fully celebrated scoring that 1 as well, which is fair play to them. Going away from home to Stamford Bridge as a League 1 side, just promoted from League 2 at the time, similar to Cambridge, and getting a goal is no easy feat, especially against such a strong side. And we've put out a relatively strong side. Certainly strong compared to them. It's a 5-0 victory in the FA Cup. And actually, the next round of the FA Cup, as Luton beat Brighton, the next round of the FA Cup may well be drawn this month. So we might actually have another game to play added into the month of March, which will make this month even more difficult to come by or difficult to complete in one episode. But I think there will be some replays played before we get our next draw. So we don't know who will play or... Oh no, there you go. Oh, really? 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 Bloody Chelsea! Man United game's been moved midweek. They just beat me in the Carabao Cup final. Now I've got to play them in the FA Cup. Next up for us, Brighton in the Premier League. I mistakenly said in the previous one that Cheltenham played Chelsea in the FA Cup and ended 5-1. Was my mistake. It was actually Chesterfield, not Cheltenham, that played Chelsea in the FA Cup and lost 5-1 this time last year. What we're doing here is losing 1-0 to Brighton in the 7th minute, which isn't particularly the best way to start the game, is it? If you don't mind, Brighton, I'd rather you didn't. They do have a very good side. Jesus is 86. Kvaratskhelia is 85. Silva's 84. Barrow's 83. Renato Sanchez 85. Pellegrini 86. Chukwueze 85 there. Play from midfield up is a really genuinely quality side. In defence, they have some 82s and 83s. But from that bank of 4 and then the triangle of 3, they're world class. Tell you who else is world class. Even a step above world class. Erling Haaland. Brighton are really good. Moussa Barrow with the second, and in the 28th minute, we're behind again. Lovely ball out to Zaniolo. Erling! Oh, yes! He's ended up at Bellini's feet. I don't really know how, but Fabio's buried it. It's 2-2 before half-time. Christ knows where Ruben Dias is off to there. It just disappeared. Forward. Support arriving. Camavinga. No. It's going to be a 2-2 draw by the looks of things here against Brighton. Unless they score on this attack, because there's certainly not the time for a counter now. Yep. 2-2 draw against, to be fair, a very good Brighton side. It ends with all the goals in the first half. And a split of the points, 1 each. Up next for us then is Chelsea in the FA Cup. We lost the Carabao Cup. Not just lost the Carabao Cup game, but we, all told, lost the Carabao Cup to Chelsea. England squad submission is just around the corner. And I really, really, really want to go through in the FA Cup, because I'd love to get everything done in this season at City and then have a proper rebuild somewhere else. Chelsea line up similarly, but also slightly different to how they did yesterday. Jose Maria Jimenez is in at centre-back for a tired Marquinhos. And then Dybala is in on the left-hand side of the midfield forward 2. And then Depay starts up top as well. Most of their squad was actually tired. So there are a handful of starting 11 players here that are not fully fit. And they didn't have either players that were remotely of any quality that were fully fit to replace them, or other players that were of quality that were just as tired. So Chelsea must have had, presumably, an FA Cup replay midweek. I didn't see their result from the previous round, but when we played and beat Cheltenham, Chelsea must have only drawn their game and needed a replay this past midweek. Either that or they had a Premier League game, but I don't think that's the case. So they are weaker than they were yesterday, but given the nature of how yesterday's game played out, they probably can afford to be weaker than they were yesterday and still get a decent result. Obviously, it goes without saying that if I was to lose one and win one of these 2 games against Chelsea, I'd rather it were lose the Carabao Cup final and win the FA Cup game. Good effort by Zaniolo, but well saved by Edouard Mendy. We'll start on the front foot, and Erling's up for this. Bellini will keep it in play. Foden will lift it, looking for Zaniolo, who tries the acrobatic, but it doesn't come off. It's poor from Chilwell, given straight to Camavinga there. Bellini's drifted wide here. Zaniolo's drifted central. Tried to turn Gabriel and just couldn't quite get it off. Peters inside, Brahmer's in the way. Oh! I'm lucky not to get sent for that, to be honest. Peters to Dybala. Rides the challenge from Joao Cancelo and then gives the ball away, but Chilwell wins it back. They've moved it about nicely here. Here is Peters for them. Matthias Peters kicks it against Brahmer. Are we going to get a yellow card for Brahmer for that challenge? I'm not. I get away with it. I absolutely crunched the man. And the referee's forgotten about it, thankfully. I'm sure he must have forgotten about it, because absolutely was a booking and worth taking a name. It's Franck Kessié, Chilwell, Paulo Dybala. Again, just getting lucky coming forward with the ball rebounding their way. Peters. Oh, it's nicely done. Ederson able to hold on. Truffert to Nejevic. Pedri is back in first team training, but not yet available for selection. So we're very nearly going to have our 92 rated centre mid back again. And Nežević will drop to the bench, which was the intention for him to be a bench player. It's just that he started about 7 or 8 games in a row because of Pedri's injury, unfortunately. It's not like he's a bad player. That's why we bought that extra quality. I feel like I get more out of 85 rated Nežević than I did out of 89 rated Rodri. Purely because of his physicality, i.e. his extra agility and pace, which is certainly what Rodri lacks. Zaniolo driving down the line here. Reece James with me. Turned well, and Foden has Camavinga and then Nežević, and through there looking for Erling. This is building well. Just need to find a bit of space, which Bellini has now, but he can't find the back of the net. Edouard Mendy keeping Chelsea in it continually here. Ball delivered, and it's going to be cleared away. We'll get after that with Zaniolo. It's number 10 versus number 10. For some reason, he's kicked that to Memphis Depay, not to the teammate that I aimed it at. Had a lot of that in yesterday's recording, but thankfully, we've won it back again. Come on, please. Foden nicely back out to Zaniolo. Erling's there, and he's onside this time. Oh, but he can't find Camavinga. Not long to go in this first half. Chelsea have come close to scoring. We've come close to scoring, but no goals yet. This is the quarter-final, of course, so whoever gets through this game will be going to Wembley for an FA Cup semi. But at the minute, you couldn't call which side it'll be. Runners around me, that's who we'll use. It's Phil Foden. I'll just dink this. Can I get there with Erling ahead of Gabriel? We can. I think it was Gabriel that used his hand. Foden with the back, or receives the back heel. I probably should have played that inside there, shouldn't I? Was an extra man available. Here's Peters going for a run, but Bremer will step in. He can't get there though, and Kessié will look for the through ball. And Peters is in here. Good save by Ederson. I tried to give him a nudge with Truffert. It wasn't enough to stop him from taking the shot. Havertz will take the corner for Chelsea, and he'll take it short. Here's Dybala. See a Roma player in real life, taking Christian Pulisic's number 10 for Chelsea. I need to get this to a teammate. Bellini. Oh, I tried to just lay that off to Foden, but Bellini couldn't get it out of his feet. Good counter-attack from Eduardo. Camavinga. Here come Chelsea again. Reece James, the game's getting a bit stretched now as they tire and they overcommit players. They are going to become more and more vulnerable to the counter-attack. Like this. Reece James is one of the few in the back line that was fully fit, but he still can't catch Zaniolo. Nicolo on the counter. Half an hour to go. We are 1-0 up in the FA Cup quarter-final. We might well be Wembley bound again. Camavinga. Forward to Foden. Now out wide on the wing. Fatawu spins Gabriel. Oh, and Foden was on even if Calderon was off. Nice interception by Truffert. And Cole Palmer in possession. Now's where we need a little bit of game management. Just see it through. 88th minute. Just need to make sure we keep the ball. And we should be on our way to Wembley. Cole Palmer with the turn. Calderon is there. And Nežević. 3 minutes added on. I was going to just have a pop shot from there, but with 3 added on, not just the 1, I'm just going to take a little bit more time. Calderon. Nežević holds off his man. We've just wasted enough. Oh, they've given it back to me again as well. Sorry, Chelsea, going out the FA Cup. Calderon on his left. Oh, I don't know whether Mendy got a touch to that to stop it from going in. If he did, it's a wonderful save. But regardless of it, that's us headed to Wembley for an FA Cup semi-final. That's the way round we would have preferred it, I suppose. To beat Chelsea in the FA Cup and not the Carabao Cup. I'm happy enough with that. And we got a good level of payback. But we were certainly fortunate that we were able to get the level of fatigue in their side. Just lucky. I don't know. I'll check that. Actually, let's check the FA Cup because I'll be able to see if Chelsea had a replay, won't I? If I look standings, let's see if there was a replay in the FA Cup for Chelsea, and that's why they were tired midweek. So round 5, Chelsea beat Leicester 3-1. So was there a Premier League game? There couldn't have been a Champions League game. Or was there a Champions League game? No. Chelsea aren't even in the Champions League round of 16. Oh, I'm so confused then. Were they in the Europa League? They had a Europa League game midweek against Bayern Munich. That's what cost them their fatigue. And they lost it as well by 2-1 away from home in Germany. Germany? I was reading the preliminary in my head whilst saying German. Oh, away in Germany. The Germany. Right, well, with the result as it is after the first leg, rather understandably, we're going to simulate this second leg against PSG, and then we'll go and play West Ham. And the FA... Wow! Lincoln City reach the FA Cup semi-finals. How the hell have they done that? They'll have started in round 1, Lincoln, surely. Oh, it'll be round 2 because it's not got a full set of fixes. Lincoln beat Bournemouth by 2-1. Drew with Port Vale 0-0. Saw them off by a 0-0 in the replay. In the 5th round, Lincoln beat Exeter 1-0. And then they beat Manchester United by 2-1. Whoa! Lincoln, chill, lads. Calm down. Wow! Fair play to them. Let's have a look at other leagues. I'm sure they're League One. I'm absolutely certain they're League One, Lincoln United. No, Lincoln City, sorry. They're 16th in League One. And they've made it to an FA Cup semi-final. Well done, lads. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to wipe the floor with you. But well done. And then the other semi-final is Luton-Watford as well, which is a big derby for both sides. And also a big surprise for both sides to be there as well. We need to make sure we get wins in our final games. We need to beat Finland and then hope that Poland beat the Czech Republic. Otherwise, we'll then need to beat the Czech Republic in our final game on the 7th to ensure that we progress to Euro 2028. I might have to play both of those games with England to ensure that we progress. We'll wait and see how it goes. But for now, we're going to head to that game against West Ham. Spent a little bit more time in the menus there between games than I anticipated, but certainly worth the look, wasn't it? Congratulations, Lincoln City, for getting to Wembley for an FA Cup semi-final. That is insane. And it would have been a Manchester derby instead as well. So I'm really pleased that they beat Man United because it means we have a much easier task. At least we think it's a much easier task. Who knows? They may just go and beat me as well and knock out both Manchester sides on their way to an FA Cup final, the League One side. Paris Saint-Germain line up the same way as they did in the first leg. And quite frankly, they are nowhere near the level needed. You've seen how poorly they're doing domestically. And certainly, well, you saw how poor they were when we played them yesterday. My God, a 5-0. And it was a comfortable 5-0 as well. It's not like we got lucky in a number of instances. PSG just were nowhere near good enough. Now, I'd like to think that with a full-strength side out here, other than Palmer in for Zaniolo, we should see ourselves comfortably through to the next round of the Champions League. Who we get remains to be seen. When that is remains to be seen. We may even have to take on some England duty in the next episode to, over the course of the next 2 episodes, to ensure that we get to Euro 2028, because rather evidently we want to get to Euro 2028 because we want to win the bloody Euros if we can. PSG pull one back though. It's Blaz in the 26th minute. I don't see them scoring 5 though, do you? He says, tempting fate. It's 2. Brendan Aronson on the brink of half-time makes it 2-0 PSG. Certainly in a sim, they're playing better than they did in the played game, but we haven't had a single shot so far. They're not going to do it, are they? There's not going to be a mad upset here. Surely not. All we need is 1 goal, I'd have thought, and we're even more comfortable than we were previously. They can't score 5. I'm sorry, they're just not going to score 5. Mbappe's beaten his man. It's 3. The bum hole's going a little bit. Little bit wobbly now. 3-0 to Paris Saint-Germain. I'm sure this wouldn't have happened had we played them. We probably would have run away with a massive victory again. But because we had... Oh, I'll take this. I won't. I wanted to take that myself. Never mind, I didn't press the jump in button quickly enough. Phil Foden hits the bar. Cole Palmer with the follow-up. If they make it 4, I'll probably play out the remainder of the game myself. Just to make sure. Let's be honest, this is a shock, isn't it? You've seen the state of their team. There's no way that this Paris Saint-Germain side are capable in my opinion, of seeing this through. This is purely going off reputation of club more so than it is anything else in this sim. There's absolutely not a chance that this team, you know how strong my side is, there's no chance that this team perform this well. We beat them 5-0 in the first leg. Well, 4-0 PSG. Now I'm just going to pass it around for 10 minutes. That is absolute BS, isn't it, really? That is the game not being coded very well. There is no way that PSG side should have been 4-0 up against my team. That's purely going off club reputation rather than the actual ability of the players on the pitch. Thankfully, I have the ability to jump in, and we have the ability to immediately go through and score. That's how easy it is against this PSG side. So why, in the sim, are they winning 4-0? As a joke. As much as it's nice to have the sim as an option, you still kind of want it to realistically replicate what would be a genuine scoreline. There's not a chance that side for PSG scores 4 goals against me in any other scenario, is there? Never mind, we're through to the next round of the Champions League. Into the quarters we go. Who we get and when we get them, we'll wait and see. But for now, it's West Ham. Actually, we should find out. Based on international duty, tournament prize money. When is that next round? And who is it against? It might even be in April, actually. It is. So West Ham next. It's AC Milan. Okay, AC Milan in the next round. Up next for us, though, West Ham United. 4-2-3-1 for West Ham. Lukasz Hradecky in goal for them. Devin Wrench, Javi Sanchez, Rafael Castro, Regen, and Luke Thomas at left back. Fabinho and Aaron Barry in the midfield for them. Marquinhos out on the right-hand side, recently moved from Arsenal. Jack Grealish on the left-hand side, recently moved from me. Quinton Timber at cam, and then Mustafa Kovacevic at striker. As we've seen before, Edin Dzeko regen. We're at full strength, slightly tied in a couple of areas, but nothing to worry about. Hopefully we can get 3 points. With the gap at the top is currently 2. However, we have 2 games in hand, this being one of them. So if we win this, we'll go 5 points clear, and we could potentially go 8 points clear at the top of the table should we win our other game in hand, which I think is probably that game against Man United that has been moved. Foden. I'm actually going to drop back. Oh, I was going to play Inacevic him, and I couldn't quite do it. Still, Pedri not quite fit enough to be able to come in and play, but hopefully by the time we get to the Arsenal game, he will be in a position to be back in the starting lineup. Erling's made a run, so we'll use it, and he'll get there. Use your left, son. Never mind, sometimes your right's good enough. We lead. Camavinga with a lovely interception there, and Foden will race. Okay, that was meant for Erling. Foden will spin and score a very good second goal. Manchester City 2, West Ham United 0. Well, it might be a game in hand, and we might need to win it to extend the lead at the top of the table. I always prefer to have points on the board than games in hand, but when you 2-0 up after 20 minutes in your game in hand, it's points on the board already, isn't it? And into Haaland again. Zaniolo's on the run this time. Can I slide him through that gap and then turn sharply to beat the defender? Wasn't a sharp turn. Oh, what is the defender doing? I feel a bit dirty after scoring that goal. Zaniolo makes it 3, but I need to see it. What happened with the defender? I need to see a replay. Like, I beat the first man, albeit my turn here wasn't as sharp as I wanted it to be, but that's just pure pace. Is he actually cleared it against Zaniolo? No, Zaniolo just has powered his way through and actually followed through with a shooting motion. And David Moyes can't quite believe it. He's like, why have you not cleared that? And to be honest, David, I couldn't tell you, mate. It's 3-0. Corner for West Ham. Grealish to take it on the far side. 3-0 up inside half an hour. It might be 3-1. Not if... Jesus, Camavinga can leap like that, it won't. Grealish to Devin Wrench. Pulled back. Kovacevic. Oh, good save. Can we deny them the corner? We can't. Needed stopping that from Edison. That was a decent effort from Kovacevic. Technically, he's not great, Kovacevic, in any area other than his finishing. I remember when we scouted him, he had like 78, 79, 80. ish for like his dribbling and ball control and passing, etc. But his finishing stat was 88. And it presumably will have grown since we last looked at him as well. So given the chance, certainly, what's Ederson doing? Given the chance, Kovacevic will put the ball in the back of the net. And Ederson has gifted him the chance there. Now we're one bullshit goal apiece. Got a corner here in the 66th minute. Foden delivers well, and Diaz could have been underneath it. I think it hit Ruben Diaz's arm. It must have done, because I don't have handballs on for penalties, but it's still free. Here's Zaniolo. That's going in, isn't it? Nicolo! Zaniolo again. He's certainly been better than Ousmane Dembele, hasn't he, Nicolo Zaniolo? Justifiably coming into the team and certainly proving that he's very, very good indeed. That is a stunner. We do have our fourth against West Ham now this afternoon. Marquinhos played in. West Ham looking for a second consolation goal. Not going to be anything more than that. And they're not even going to get that. So we're going to win this one by 4-1 here at home. Puts us 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League with a game in hand. And with second place Manchester United still to play. In fact, we would have been playing them today, wouldn't we, I think? If it hadn't gone the way that it has with the FA Cup. In fact, the FA Cup was always going to be drawn there, wasn't it, to be fair? So that game, if we can win our games in hand and then beat Manchester United, that might be the title then and there, even this early on in the season. We'll check the league table as we drop back. It's international football on the way next. England versus Finland, which I'll sim, but I'll be open to jumping in if things aren't going my way. So we're currently 5 points clear of United. We could go 8 points clear of United should we win our game in hand. Then if we beat them when we play them and match their results between now and then, we could go 11 points clear of them. And by the time we play them, there'd only be 6 games left or so. So if we can win our game in hand, and if we can beat Manchester United, I don't know why I clicked on my career there rather than Canada, and if we can beat Manchester United here, that might be the Premier League title assured with 5 games to go. But we do still have Liverpool and Leeds in the meantime, and Arsenal in fact, so I'm not sure yet. Right, we'll advance towards this. We'll go into sim this first game against Finland. Need the win with England though, really. If you look at the standings, England versus Finland. Finland only 3 points. We need the win, and we have to hope that Poland beat Czech Republic. We don't have to hope, but it would be great if Poland could beat Czech Republic on this particular match day, and then we'll know exactly what the situation is heading into the final game against the Czech Republic after our next game against Ukraine. We can sim Finland, but we may need to play Ukraine. My England side actually has a slightly tight Tammy Abraham up top, but that should be fine. I'll double check that Finland are putting out their strongest possible side, and then we'll jump into this one against the Finns and see what we can do. I probably won't show much of this, to be honest. I'm just hoping for a pretty straightforward victory here for England, and then we'll see what the group looks like as we head towards the game against Ukraine. I may need to play that game against Ukraine to ensure that we get to Euro 2028 with England. But it looks like we're going to be playing very well in this game against Finland. Saka gives us an early 1-0 lead. Not that I'm aware of, Cole. No, it's not that clever. Finland equalise. Pohan Palo. And number 99 makes it 1-1. Not great. Oh my God, I thought Finland were going to score a second there. Tammy is tired, so I'll probably look to bring Gelhardt on sooner rather than later. And at the minute, I'm looking more likely of actually coming on and taking charge myself for the final few moments, unless we're able to get a second goal, which it doesn't at the minute look like we're going to. I might, in a minute, unless we score here, which we haven't done, be coming on to take control. Good save. I'm going to come on and take control here. Tammy Abraham will come off and Gelhardt will come on. And I am going to take control of this England side. I'm going to jump in as Foden is taking this corner. I'm going to try. Oh, bloody hell, very nearly immediately get the winner for England. I might drop back out again like we did for PSG. Once I'm able to, against PSG, once we're able to get the goal. But we do want to win this. Saka. Here's Jadon Sancho. He was fantastic for me at the World Cup. Foden. That ball was meant for Saka. As was that one. This is slightly annoying. Declan Rice from the edge of the box. Declan Rice. Good save by Jeroen. Come on, England, please. I really could do with 3 points here. I was hoping we'd just comfortably qualify in this group. Oh, surely that was over the line. I was hoping we'd comfortably qualify and I wouldn't need to play any of the games with England in this final stage of qualifying. Oh, lovely turn. It's a good block, though. I fancied Sancho on his favoured side. Sancho again! Sancho's won it back again. Declan Rice. Heavy touch given away. Come on, please! It's Finland, for Christ's sake! Saka, lovely turn. Sancho going to run? No, he's just hovering. Well, to be fair, Finland playing a very high line. Reece James through to Jadon. Turns well. Good dribbling again. Foden looking for Gelhardt in around the corner. Takes it wide. And that is a hell of a finish from Joe Gelhardt. Again, justifying his selection ahead of an ageing, worsening Harry Kane. Wow! What a finish. Thought I'd taken it too far. Lovely ball by Foden. Great run by Gelhardt. And whoa! That'll be 3 points for the England. Through the keeper's legs. Oh, skimming off the bottom of his ball bag. We lead by 2-1. Go on. He's holding out well, to be fair. There you go. 3 points for England. Whew. Czech Republic beat Poland. That's not great for us. Oi, oi, oi. We might be in an awkward spot. I am going to play Ukraine here. And that will be the last game of the day. Because I absolutely need to ensure that England reach Euro 2028. We were hoping to just be able to sim our way through qualifying. Evidently, we are not going to be able to do that. So we'll play Ukraine. That'll be the final game today. And tomorrow will be Arsenal, Liverpool and AC Milan first leg. Which is still a hell of an episode, to be fair. Right. Ukraine coming up. We're on international duty once again. I line up as you see here then in a 4-3-3 for this game against Ukraine. Noni Madueke, Rashford and Gelhardt is my front three. Bellingham, Gallagher and Foden, the midfield trio. Ben White's drafted in at centre-back to play alongside. Am I playing Tomori? Is Tomori I'm playing as well. Livramento at right-back. Chilwell at left-back. So we're not as strong as we were in the previous game. And there is some changes in there because it was 3 days ago and everybody's pretty tired. But we still certainly should be good enough to win this game against Ukraine. I say that knowing that Ukraine actually have a half-decent team. And, of course, new Chelsea man, Mikhailo Mudryk is in their starting lineup. Out on the left-hand side. Andre Lunin in goal for them. Alexander Timchuk at right-back. Then Vitaly Mikolenko, the Everton left-back. Viktor Sigankov on the right. Mudryk on the left. Malinovsky up top with Shaparenko and Sudakov in the midfield. It's a decent team for this Ukraine. A lot of mid-80s players in there. To be fair, it wouldn't have been a very straightforward sim. At the best of times, it's probably not going to be a straightforward played game either. But a win here would be absolutely massive for England's qualification campaign for Euro 2028. Which, of course, we would very much like to win in this GloryHunter campaign. Here's Shaparenko around the corner. Tomori should have the pace to get back here. Malinovsky turns well. And Viktor Sigankov draws the save out of Aaron Ramsdale. The chance from the corner then for Sigankov to find a teammate. Conor Gallagher's up. Tomori just arrives out of nowhere and heads that behind. Sigankov to take it short. And Shaparenko back to Mikhailo Mudryk. Backs up nicely. Sigankov. Oh, this is brilliant. That's superb from Ukraine. They take a deserved 1-0 lead. Gelhardt out to Rashford. Don't know whether Timchuk is quick or not, but it doesn't matter because Rashford hasn't been able to find the bloody pass in the first place. Malinovsky looking for Mudryk, who's in behind here. Tomori's supposed to be quick. He seems rather slow off the mark for Fikayo Tomori. I wonder if his acceleration is significantly lower than his sprint speed. It certainly feels that way. Foden looking for Noni Madueke. And he's run straight into Timashuk. Sorry, Mikolenko, not Timashuk. Timashuk doesn't even play anymore. Noni Madueke is in the box. We'll cut it back. Here's Foden. There's an equaliser. Well worked. Let's go and get another one, please. Malinovsky out wide to Mikhailo Mudryk. It's around the corner. Good block by Livramento. So far, of the fringe players, I'd say Conor Gallagher is probably the one that's impressed the most. Noni Madueke's been alright. Tino Livramento's been alright. No one's really stood out like Conor Gallagher. Gerhardt's just... You're running into a tiny gap, Joe. I cannot play you in there. Make an intelligent run, please. Not just running forward. That doesn't count. You need to actually run in an area where I can find you with a decent pass. Now I'm in trouble. Malinovsky is away here. And Tomori's going to have to come across. And they've got the pass off. And Ramsdale with a huge save. I really needed my goalkeeper there. Ukraine caught me. 20 minutes to find a winner. And we do very much need that winner. Win that. Well up. Chile. Rashford. Through ball. Come on then, Joe. You're in, son. Joe Gelhardt's pretty good, huh? Zaparenko, win that. Well up, Tino. Rate that. Nicely done. Well, I was saying Conor Gallagher was kind of the only one of these fringe players that was impressing. Joe Gelhardt's added his name to that list now, hasn't he? Certainly. And you never know. Maybe we'll look to buy him at some point in this save. Somewhere else. Don't need him at City. That's what we bought. Fatou for. Jadon Sancho makes it 3. That's 3 points for the England. We needed that. Zinchenko on off the bench for them here. It's game over. Is it? No, it's not. Malinovsky with a great goal. It's flown into the back of the net. England pegged back to 3-2. It's just as well we got that third with Jadon Sancho, isn't it? That was a very impressive goal for Ukraine. I had some problems with their first, with the goalkeeping animation, but that was just great, to be fair. It was just a very, very, very good goal. Foden looking to race away here. We know, of course, how best to use Phil Foden from our time at City. To be fair, we knew how to use Phil Foden from our time with England at the World Cup before we arrived at City. And now we're playing with him, England having used him even more so at City. It's a 3-2 win against Ukraine. It's 3 points on the board. Now, I hope that Finland can do something against the Czech Republic in their game. But the next round of international fixtures aren't until later in April, I don't believe. We'll have a quick look at the standings in the qualifiers for the European positions. European qualifiers, sorry. And that actually puts us top now. Czech Republic play Finland on the very next day. So actually, let me advance a bit further. Please, Finland, take a point off Czech Republic. That'd be bloody lovely if you could. Who's talking to me? Phil Foden's very happy. Good. I'm not surprised, mate. We are top of the Premier League by 5 points, as we will play Arsenal in the first game of the next episode tomorrow. And Czech Republic beat Finland by a 0-0. So we are top, but Poland play Finland, Czech Republic play Ukraine, and that will be Finland's last game. They're definitely finishing bottom. That's in September, so we're not going to find out what happens in the Euro 2028 qualifiers until after the summer transfer window next season. We may not even be at City by that point. So tomorrow will be Arsenal, Liverpool and AC Milan in the first leg away from home at San Siro. It's getting to the crunch stage of the season now, isn't it? And we've got some big games coming up, especially with that Manchester United one in the not too distant future as well. Join me for those giant games in tomorrow's episode and further on still by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell as well, and you'll never miss an upload. And of course, as ever, please do drop the video a like if you're enjoying too. Things going well enough with England, but looks like we're probably going to have to play that Czech Republic one, doesn't it, when we reach September next season, regardless of what club we're at. But for now, that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.